my name is Samuel. I'm a personal finance manager here at Cash Converters. As you know, Cash Converters, we do buy and sell a lot of merchandise, and one of our key tools is to test the merchandise before we do put it on the floor. And let's go take a look at how we do that today. Okay guys, so this is our testing area, and this right here is our all test unit. We do have different versions in different stores, but they do all serve the same purpose and work the same way. So we're going to take this in the back right now so we can show you how to easily work the system. This is our all test unit. It does come with 3 remotes, which you can see right here. Also, you will have a HDMI cable as well as a component cable. Now keep in mind that the all test unit should only be used for testing merchandise and no other reason at all. With the version 3.0, you can see that we do have a timer here. So basically you set the time for how long you want the unit to be powered. It will automatically shut off when the timer hits 0. This is the main receiver, which is connected to everything that you see here in the unit. On top of the main receiver, we do have a DVD player, as well as right underneath, we have a LCD screen. On your left-hand side, you do have AV out, as well as line in, as well as you have speaker in and speaker out. Now right underneath you'll see a big white switch which controls the sub that's inside the box. On the right hand side you have your HDMI inputs, DVD out, DVD in, you have your AV in, which are component cables, as well as you have your power on switch, which is 12 volts. If you're ever testing anything, you need to make sure this is on. So if you do have any further questions in how to use this unit, please refer to your manual which will come with this, which will explain to you exactly how to use it. Okay guys, let's go ahead and test this DVD player out. So you have the power cable to the DVD player, which goes right up here, like that. Also you will have the HDMI cable, which you will simply take like this and just put it into your DVD in. Very simple process. Now you make sure that the DVD player is powered on. So here's your TV remote. Now make sure, one of the key things is that you change the component by pressing input on your remote control to HDMI or whatever the case you're testing, just like that, by hitting input. So you can tell now that the DVD is working by looking at your screen, which is showing you the screen for the DVD player. Okay guys, so this is our main receiver. Now anything you play from this main receiver will be coming out from here, which says sound out. As you can see, if I take the cable and go ahead and put it into our speaker in section, just like this, you can instantly hear music coming from the speakers that you have in your unit. Now, simply if you wanted to test a speaker that a customer has brought in, for example, the one we have here, you would take these wires from your sound out and just put it onto the back of the speaker, and you should be able to hear anything that you're playing from your system. In addition to that, you always have to make sure that when you're testing a speaker like this one, that you make sure that the sub on button is on off. What that means is you do have subs in this testing unit. If this switch is on, you're actually hearing sound coming out of the sub on this testing unit. So always make sure that you do have it off when you're testing a speaker such as this. Okay, so moving along, we're going to test out a DVD. So if a customer does bring in a DVD, very simple, you will just use your DVD player, which is located right on top of your main receiver. So just hit the eject button, the DVD opens up, you place the DVD in there just like that. Hit the eject button again to close it. Now you always want to make sure that you do have your HDMI cables going DVD in as well as DVD out. What that does is it makes sure that the DVD player is connected to your receiver, which is connected to your screen. As you can see, the movie will start playing. Alright, moving along. So just say a customer brings in a receiver. You always want to make sure with the receivers that the left and the right channels are working, which is right here. Red meaning positive, black meaning negative. Also, you can see here that a DVD player is connected to the receiver. Now, it's very simple how you check these 2 channels. You would grab your wire from speaker in, make sure that they are connected. Also, you will notice on the wire itself that one of the wires has a black stripe going along, which will go with your black channel right here. And the gray wire will go with the red one, positive, negative. Now, it's simply to test the channels, you would take the wires and place them like that, and you will be able to hear sound coming out of the speaker here as well as the speaker on that side. Now you always want to make sure as well that you check both channels. There's the one on the right side as well as on the left. Same process. Go ahead and put the two wires like that, and again you should be able to hear the sounds coming out from the left and the right speaker. And say a customer brings in a car deck just like the one we have here. So before you even connect this to your testing unit, you want to make sure that you do see the wires here in the back. Now, most commonly with all decks, your black wire, this one right here, is your ground wire. Now, the yellow right here is your remote, and the red is your power. Now, what you want to make sure you do is connect the red and the yellow together, just like this, the remote, as well as the power, and you want to have your ground out like this. Okay, so now that you have done what you need to do with the deck, now you have to connect it to your testing unit. Now make sure that you do have the black for negative and the gray for positive in the red section. You can also tell by the wire, as well, like I mentioned earlier, there's a black stripe on the wire, which means the wire this side is negative, the gray one is positive. Now what you want to do with these two wires is the black you will connect to your ground wire, which will be black on your deck, simply like this. Now with your positive wire, you will go back to your two connected wires here and just go on top of them and connect it like that. Now one thing that you do need to make sure is that your power switch is always off on your testing unit when you're connecting these wires. Turn on your power switch for your system as well as the power switch on the deck. Now that you know that your deck is powered, you want to make sure that the speaker is actually working by connecting it to your test system speakers. You do this by taking the wire from your speaker in, bringing it just over like this. Now again, make sure that you have the black and gray. You're going to be connecting the two wires to your speaker wires on your deck, just like that, just holding it. And you should be able to hear the sound coming from your test unit. Now when you do buy the deck, make sure for a customer you do test the front right speaker, the front left speaker, as well as the rear right speaker and the rear left speaker. You would test it the exact same way that I just showed you. Okay, so say a customer comes in, they want to test a deck, amp, as well as a subwoofer. It's very simple, the process how you would do this. For the training video I already have everything connected. We already know how to connect the deck to the speakers. So what you would do in this process is you want to make sure that first of all, your testing unit is off. You have your ground wire coming in and connecting to the amp where it actually says ground. Very simple. Now as for the other wire, which is the positive, that will go in your 12 volt. Now you also want to have another wire that is going from the 12 volt to your remote, just like how we did with the speakers, the power and the remote here with the ground. Now make sure that none of your wires are touching other wires, because this could cause the system to actually overheat. Now one other thing you want to make sure is you have component cables that you're using to connect to the back of the amp where it says input. These wires will connect also to the deck, which you see like this, where it says sub. Now make sure that you do have them connected in the right colors. Now very simply, when you have this all wired together, you will go ahead and switch on your power switch on your testing unit. Make sure you hit the power switch on your deck. Now one way to know your amp is working, as you can tell, there's a blue light that will turn on, maybe different with other amps, but you will see some sort of signal telling you the amp is on. Now simply just turn up the volume. Just always make sure that you do have a fuse with your amp that's working. That's a crucial thing that you want to check for. Okay, last thing we're going to go over is our audio video components. Now the reason you would use this is if a customer does bring in a DVD player that does not have HDMI components, what you would do is connect the audio video to this, to the back of the audio video on the DVD player, and it would show on your screen. Now you want to make sure that you do take your remote and you hit input when you are doing audio video and go to video. One other thing you want to know is right under your audio video components you do have another jack. Now what we use this for is to testing headphones. Now how you would do that is you would play, say, the radio or a CD on your main component, connect the headphones right here, and you should be able to hear sound coming out of your testing center to the headphones. Now moving away from this, you have one more plug here, which is actually to test your PC towers that customers will bring in. Now how you would do that is you would put the PC tower, connect the cable from the PC tower to this component right here. Now what that would do is let you see on the screen if the PC is working. Now you also want to make sure that again you hit input, go down to PC and hit enter. Now the PC is connected to your component, which will show what you need to see if the PC is working on the screen. Now for instance, if a customer does bring in an older TV which does not have HDMI inputs, what you would do is you would connect component cables from the older TV to your AV out. And what that does is when you play something from your DVD, it will let the older TV basically, you will see if it's working or not. Now make sure that you do have it connected to AV out. Now also, if someone brings in an iPod or an MP3 player and you want to make sure it is working, you want to use, usually there's a headphone jack at the back of the MP3 player, you want to connect the wire to that and go into your line in. So after you have the iPod or MP3 player connected to line in, you want to make sure that you hit input on your main receiver and go into line in. That way you're able to tell if the MP3 player is actually working. Okay guys, so this ends the training video on how to use the all test system to test all equipment. And if you do have any further questions, just click the link at the bottom of the video and put your question in there and someone will definitely answer that for you.
This is Sam and he'll check you out.
Hi Sam.
It's nice meeting you.
Nice to meet you too. I'd just like to buy this, but I want to make sure first that it's working.
Absolutely, I can definitely help you with that.
Perfect, thank you so much.
Okay. There you go, ma'am. It's totally powering up.
Perfect, works very well.
Excellent.
I'll take it.
How you doing?
All right, here you go. Thank you so much for shopping at Cash Converters.
Thank you. Now I won't get lost going to the mall. Cash Converters rocks.